Hello and welcome to our weekly live show. I am Fabiana Claure, pianist and business strategist for musicians. Very excited to connect with you this week. I am the CEO and founder of the Musicians Profit Umbrella, a global business mentorship program where we help musicians create six-figure leaps in their music business by packaging all of their skills under an umbrella brand so that they can create financial and artistic prosperity without sacrificing their quality of life. We are done with burnout. We are done with overwhelm. We want to help musicians thrive so that they can really show up in the world and bring their best foot forward and create the impact that they know they can make, but do it without having to feel overwhelmed, without having to feel that they're just giving so much and getting so little in return. So this is what we're all about in the Musicians Profit Umbrella program. This week, we celebrated 2 years in business, which is a huge milestone for any entrepreneur. Every single year in business is a milestone. When I started my first business, my music academy back in 2011, every single year felt like we had overcome so many adversities and had been able to just, here we stand. It's like when you're in a war, right? And here we stand, firm every single year. And it's hard to believe it's been 11 years since we've had our music school. And 6 of those years, we've been running it remotely, successfully. We live in Texas and our school runs profitably in Florida. So this has been just a great milestone. And when I started my online coaching business 2 years ago, just a few months before the pandemic hit, I had no idea how impactful it would be and how necessary it would become to the world. And as I started my program, I initially started it just as a team of one, meaning I did all the things myself, but I knew from my experience creating my first business that would not be sustainable and that I really needed to build a company, not just a program, not just an offer, right? So today, the topic of our live is really how to create that company culture for your music business so that you can potentially one day too be able to free up your time, run your business remotely, have this lifestyle freedom that your business will enable you to have without feeling all consumed by the business. We were just talking with one of our coaching clients who's a musician and he's getting ready to go on vacation. And he's like, now what do I do? Because I'm going to be on vacation. And we have some systems in place for him to be able to delegate this content to his team so that his team can keep him alive online, can keep his brand relevant and consistent on his behalf so that he can go out and enjoy his vacation. So we were just sharing with him how to do all of that so that he doesn't feel guilty for taking time off because his business can continue running in this way, right? So today, this is what we're going to talk about. It's like, how do you establish that company culture? How do you create your organization in a way that really supports your lifestyle and that becomes a gift to everything you want to create and rather than a burden? So the first thing I want to talk about is when you bring people into your organization to support you, whether it's a virtual assistant or someone to help with sales and marketing, or anything regarding maybe management, operations, finance, whatever role you're bringing in, the most important step is that you take ownership for the success of that person's role. And that's sometimes hard because musicians, we want to just focus on our craft. And when we make the decisions to delegate, to bring people in, we want to just kind of drop the ball and leave things to them and just continue doing what we really want to do. And I see this happen a lot in my clients when they hire their first team members. They're just not really sure how to manage them or how to set the right expectations. So what you need to do, number one, is recognize that 80% of the success of your team is going to be based on you as a leader. When you create that mindset shift that you shouldn't just expect your team to get results, but you have to take ownership for creating the structure and the framework and the expectations and the right accountability metrics so that you can help your team know whether or not they are on the right track. When you take full ownership of that, then everyone is on the same track and the communications are so much easier because every time something seems to be falling off the track, you can come in and take an active role in reshaping it. Right now, this doesn't mean that there may be sometimes, bad fits in your organization, people that are just not a match. And that's okay too, that happens. But when you as a CEO have the clarity of the type of culture you want to create in your organization, a culture that perhaps can be one that is quickly adaptable, that is flexible, that is agile, that can respond to the market needs in real time, that is willing to shift and pivot as needed based on what's going on, rather than putting up a fight or being like stuck or resisting the flexibility and the nuances of an ever-evolving entrepreneurial business. You want to be very clear of what do you want those values to look like for your organization. Do you want to prioritize self-care? Do you want to make sure that your employees, that your team members are prioritizing their well-being, their mental health, their physical health, their rest as they work in your organization? If this is an important value for you, you need to bring it into the team meetings, into the documentation, into the manuals, into the policies, into anything that you may have in your business. Your job is to communicate that expectation. The expectation not just on what is required for their role, but also what are the values that your organization has? What do you stand for? You're going to want to ask yourself those questions as a CEO, because those are going to be what are going to influence the relationship that you have with all the people in your team. And they're going to help you understand what you need to be looking for and how you can get great results for your team. So having with number one, getting that clarity that you are responsible for the success of your company and the success of your team members. You are 80% responsible. Like there's 20% that they can do, but 80% needs to be your ability to set the right thriving environment. You need to see yourself as a gardener to a certain extent. Like you have to make sure that the land is well soiled, the land is well quality, so that when you put the seeds in, you can bear beautiful vegetation, beautiful fruits, beautiful whatever it is that you're planting. But a lot of times entrepreneurs make the mistake, what's called drive-by delegation, of just dropping stuff and expecting your team to know what to do with it, how to manage it, what to do, all of that, right? So that's the first thing, is like take ownership of you making sure that if anything is not going right, how can you take responsibility and create a better environment, better expectations, perhaps better procedures, making sure that everything in your organization is well documented, right? Do you have procedures? Do you have SOPs, right? As they're called, standard operating procedures. Do you have those? If not, this doesn't mean you need to go about creating them. You just need to find the people who can help break down what are the things that you do that allow you to be successful. What are the things that you do that allow you to get results, both within the running of the business as well as within the work you do with your clients, right? Whatever work that you do, whether you teach music, whether you're a performer, whether you have any coaching clients, whatever else, whether you write music, whatever it is that you do, the more you can create methodology for that and break that down so that your team can understand what is your chain of thought and how do you make these decisions and how do you get people results, the easier it's going to be for everyone in your culture and your organization to understand the essence of what you do and what makes you brilliant. You know why? Because your team is going to be one of your greatest ambassadors for your business. So the more you can take the responsibility of making sure they understand your zone of genius, they understand what you really specialize in, the better they'll actually feel excited about supporting you, motivated to make sure that people are aware of what you're doing, and they'll be able to be your best ambassadors in dealing with your clients and dealing with prospective clients and creating content and helping distribute that content. All of that is going to be a result of you taking that responsibility, that the success of your company's culture and expectations are all going to come down to you. And if you don't know how to set up these procedures, and if you're unfamiliar, which is usually the case, right? Because we start first as like the technicians, right? We're doing all the things. Then we realize, oh my gosh, I can't do so much. I need to bring in more people. I need to start amplifying this because I'm just burned out. Then you start bringing in people, but then you now need to know how to manage those people and how to set the right expectations. So you want to always make sure that you have also support for yourself, right? Because as I said, you want to take ownership and responsibility for leading your company, for creating that culture, for setting the expectations, for establishing the vision of your company, for clarifying what are your core drivers, what are your motivators, what's the value system that you want to establish in your organization. But then you should also have grace on yourself and not be too perfectionistic and expect that you are just going to become the CEO from one day to the next. There is a learning curve for leadership. Leadership is a skill that needs to be learned and developed just like any other skill, including a music skill, right? So don't feel frustrated. Don't feel disappointed if you struggle at the beginning, right? If you struggle in managing, if you struggle in creating those procedures, if you feel overwhelmed, if you feel burned out, just make yourself easy. You make it easier for yourself. Find support, find mentorship, look for guidance, because these are paths that have already been taken. This isn't something you're just supposed to know. People have gone through this, and there are strategies, there are systems, there are methodologies, there's psychology. There's so much at place when you want to really develop your leadership skills as the CEO of your organization. This is something that we actually focus on in our Musicians Profit Umbrella, especially in our mastermind level program, where we really work with musicians who are at stages in business where that's their primary concern, right? At each stage in business, you have a primary concern. Usually musicians at the early stages in business, their primary concern is just getting clients, getting that first few clients and the cash flow going and starting to get the money to create that stability in their business. But as you start creating that stability, now you have new problems. You may not have immediate cash flow issues, but now you need to figure out how to scale and how to grow and how to build systems and teams around you effectively without losing your mind and getting overwhelmed. So at every stage, there's a different level of problem. And so I just want you to know that just like you learned the musical skills that you have, you can learn how to be a good leader. You can learn how to manage people effectively. You can learn how to make your organization a self-sustaining organization that doesn't depend on you for every single aspect of it. This doesn't mean you're going to remove yourself 100% from it. It just means that you're not going to be intricately involved in every aspect in order for your organization to succeed. It means that you're going to know how to build an organization and a company culture that allows your business to grow with or without you. Just like our client is going now on vacation and his team is taking over, right? So I want to encourage you, if this is something you would like to know more about, if you're wondering how you can go about creating a self-led music business, if you would like to get more support and guidance in establishing the right company culture, the values, the systems, the procedures, the expectations for your team members, then you can book a call with us so we can connect and discuss specifically where you are in your business. I want to invite you to book a strategy session. It's a completely free opportunity, but we can connect and explore what could be the best ways for you to move forward if you are at this stage in business and know that you want to grow, but you want to grow smart. You don't want to continue working hard. You want to create more leverage in your business to feel that you're really building something that is allowing you to experience the ultimate lifestyle, financial and artistic prosperity that you deserve as a musician. So book a call with us. You can check us out at musiciansprofitumbrella.com. And we look forward to connecting with you. Thanks for watching, everyone. Till next time. See you soon. Let's prosper together.